Okay, so today is Wednesday, April 8th, and I'm going to be covering squares and square roots in this video. So, what a square is that you have what's called a base number. It's this big number right here, so that's called the base number. This little number up in the upper right-hand corner is called your exponent. So when you have a square of something, it is a number times itself. Okay, so starting out with the base numbers of 2. I'm going to show you how that works. Okay, so if you have a base number 2, and any time you have a 0 for an exponent, your answer is always going to be 1. Okay, let's say you have a base number of 15 with an exponent of 0. Your answer is 1. If you have a base number of 325 with a 0 exponent, your answer is always going to be 1. Okay, the rest of this works a little differently. Okay, what you're going to do is you're never, ever, ever going to take the base number times the exponent. What you're going to do is you're going to take your base number and you're going to write it one time. So this is called 2 to the first power. And so you take that base number and write it once. And your answer is 2. This one right here, you can either call it 2 squared, or you can call it 2 to the second power. So I'm going to take this 2 for the base number, and I'm going to write it 2 times. And in between that, I'm going to put a multiplication sign. So now it says 2 times 2, and what's the answer to that? And it's 4, of course. Okay? This one right here, it goes by 2 special names also. You can say 2 to the third power or 2 cubed. So we're going to say, take our base number, the 2, we're going to write it 3 times, and we're going to put the multiplication sign in between it. So 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. Now, at this point, you might want to start grouping numbers together to get your answer. This one right here, it starts saying 2 to the 4th power. After that, it's 2 to the 5th power, 2 to the 6th power. So we take our base number 2, we write it 4 times. We're going to put a multiplication sign in between. So 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 4 times 4 equals 16. Okay, so I'm going to do one more base number that is different. And I'm going to go ahead and do the number 5. 5 to the 0 power is how much? You should have 1. 5 to the first power. You're going to take that base number and you're going to write it 1 time. So your answer is going to be 5. Now, this goes by 2 different names. 5 to the second power, or you can call it 5 squared. So you want to take this 5, write it twice, put a multiplication sign in it. 5 times 5 is 25. Now, 5 with a 3. There's 2 different names for this one. 5 to the third power, or you can call it 5 cubed. So you're going to take the 5, write it 3 different times, put a multiplication sign in between it. 5 times 5 is 25. Then 25 times 5 is 125. Okay, the next step we're going to look at is taking a letter and replacing it with a number. So let's say you have b squared, or b to the second power. And I'm going to tell you that b is going to equal 3. So I'm going to take this 3 and I'm going to fill it in where that b is. So it's going to be 3 squared now. Remember how to do this. Take your base number, write it 2 times with a multiplication sign. 3 times 3 is 9. Now, what if I take x cubed? And I'm going to tell you that x is going to equal, well, let's say that it's going to equal 2. Okay? I'm going to take this 2 and I'm going to plug it in where that x is. And now it says 2 cubed, which is 2 times 2 times 2, and that would be 8. All right, so next we're going to look at square roots. Now, a square root is going to be a number times itself, okay? And that's going to be what your answer is. So if I say, oh, what's the square root of 1? Well, what times what equals 1? Well, the square root of 1 equals 1. How about the square root of 9? What times what equals 9? Well, it's 3. Okay, these are also called perfect square roots because we come out with a good perfect answer. Okay, it doesn't come out as decimal, otherwise that would be a different kind of square root. Okay, how about this one right here? What is the square root of 100? Well, 10 times 10 equals 100. So your answer is going to be 10. Okay, here's one of the harder ones. How about 225? What is the square root of 225? Well, your answer should be 15. So you should try to memorize all